Bookkeeper?
Okay, okay. Right now we're gonna leave that very white area, going to gray area right now. Okay.
Babysitter.
Yeah. Let's talk about babysitter. How about babysitter? Is babysitter independent contractor? When we talk about this, after we talk about this, I will give you the guideline. What's the guideline from IRS? So think about this. Is babysitter independent contractor?
No.
Yes or no, right? The reason why we say yes, the reason why you may think babysitter is independent contractor because for sure we never pay payroll tax. We just pay cash. I have not seen even one single case the house owner pay for payroll tax to babysitter. I have not seen any single case yet, unless that person work for IRS. Okay, unless I have not. But however, let me tell you what, babysitter is not independent contractor. Eventually defined by IRS. Babysitter has a very special name. It's called household employee. Household employee. Very special terminology, but this is defined by IRS. Babysitter is your employee. But the thing is, I don't see IRS really enforce this. I don't see. Otherwise, it's chaos. Everybody's so busy to file the payroll tax. So by the way, okay, so babysitter is not independent contractor because this job is defined by IRS as employee. Okay, yes.
How about movers?
Mover, right? Yeah. You just make a phone call to the moving company, say on certain day you're coming in on Saturday, and this afternoon you have a moving company coming in to help you to move. I think that's almost straightforward as an independent contractor. I think so.
Like party organizer?
Yes, yeah, right? Party organizer, yes. Okay.
Waiter, waitress in a restaurant.
Oh, be careful. Let's talk about this. Yes, let's talk about this. I know to save the expenses, in order to save the overhead, a lot of restaurant owner, they hire the waiter, waitress come in and just tell them, you come in, no basic salary. You just earn whatever the tips the people give to us. I know that's very common in some area. Because for those people they work there, number one, probably they are not illegal. They are not legal, number one. They are not even, eligible to work anyway. So whatever the money they earn, they say yes. But just exclude that issue. Even this person is legal. But when they can calculate the tips they can earn, sometimes it's much higher than the minimum wage. So that's the second reason why those people, they will take it. Alright? However, be careful. Waiter, waitress is not independent contractor. We'll tell you why after we go through the IRS guideline. So right now I think we have the minimum understanding. Waiter, waitress is not independent contractor. They are employee. They are employee. Any other example?
How about tutor?
Tutor. Okay, how about tutor? How about tutor? Say you have a high school kids, then you just you want to ask some Stanford graduate coming in as a tutor, right? To provide 2 hours, 3 hours every week. So how about tutor? Is tutor independent contractor or employee? Remember, we don't talk about when we determine it is employee or independent contractor, we don't talk about the amount of the money. Also, we don't talk about amount of time. Not necessarily 3 hours per week must be independent contractor. Be careful. we will see the guideline there. We will see the guideline. Sometimes the guideline is very straightforward, but sometimes it's very, very gray area. It's in a very gray area. But you all understand, if IRS come in to argue whether or not this pay is salary or independent contractor, IRS position is always say this is employee. Always they will say this is employee because they will ask for the employer to pay for extra tax. Otherwise, they don't bother, right? They don't want to waste their time saying, okay, this is your independent contractor. They don't want to waste their time, right? So if they spend the time with you auditing something, the conclusion is almost always say this is the employee. So be careful. So, okay, right now we talk about engineer.
Also, consultant. How about?
Yeah, let's talk about consultant. So right now we have a more and more example coming in. It is in the gray area already. So let's leave consultant alone. Talk about software engineer. It is very standard practice in high-tech business. The recruiter, okay, just arrange the job opportunity, say for you, okay, you are employee. On one day, the recruiter just give a phone call to you, say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, we have a job opening right there, and it's Oracle, and the contract is a 3 months contract, and the pay is $75 per hour, and it's 8 hours job every day, and guarantee 40 hours per week. If any extra hour, then you have overall pay. So even based on the 3 months contract, again, by the way, on the agreement, it defines your job as a contractor, right? That is a very, very common practice in this area. And we all understand the reason why is the company, they want to save tax and benefit. Always, right? However, think about this. If the job require you to go to the certain location and certain hours, then the job, even though defined as a contractor, but it more like become as employee, at least for IRS purposes. Even though you both parties say, I agree, this is a contractor. As an employee, you say, oh, I agree, this is I'm not on the regular base, right? I'm just a contractor because after 3 months, nobody guarantee I can continue my job. So even as an employee, say, oh, okay, I don't argue. But when IRS come in, IRS not try to protect you. Understand? IRS is not your lawyer, okay? When IRS come in and say, okay, by the way, you are employee. The reason why is they want to collect extra tax. This is it. All right? The determination from IRS will not affect your benefit. Whatever you're supposed to take, you take, but IRS will take extra payroll tax. This is it. Got it? Any other example? Consultant, how about consultant? Is the consultant job more like an independent contractor or employee? What is your argument? By the way, we can just assume tutoring is independent contractor. Okay, we just assume that. How about contractor? How about consultant?
Well, if you hire that person as a consultant, I mean, it can be. It's possible.
So can you define the consultant more detail?
Well, for instance, I need that consultant as my personal consultant for my business.
How about accountant? This is, for example, you hire one accountant come in to give you advice about your tax return, how to file tax return. So, if, for example, right now it's tax season, right? So if you go out to any CPA firm or tax firm, you just ask this person to file the tax return on behalf of you, and you pay $100, $200. For this kind of consultant is.
It's going to be independent.
Yes, obviously. I think obviously. Okay, but if you keep a long-term relationship, and this person become more like an advisor, and then even you ask this person coming to your place on a certain day, certain time, and certain location, and you even define the scope of the job, or even more, this person coming in to use your facility. Even you say this is a consultant, but for tax purposes, it may become more like a employee. Remember, okay, when IRS coming in to define employee or contractor, they are not on behalf of you. You don't have any benefit, okay? That is for IRS benefit because they want to collect extra payroll tax. This is it. All right. So let's see what's the standard there. Okay. By the way, I will email you this slide. Okay, because keep this in your file. You don't need to look at that, but in your file once in a while, if you want to hire somebody else, and in your mind you say, okay, this is one issue, whether or not this person is an employee or contractor. Okay. All right. So, by the way, this is always the major issue. This is always. Let me ask some of you, anyone sitting here, you are working as a contractor right now? In our class, we have one. Any more? So let me ask you, Christina, you are defined as a contractor, I think, as per your agreement, I just assume, okay? But does your employer deduct or withdraw your tax or pay some Medicare?
No.
Okay, so you are pure, you are 100% independent contractor. I just want to find out someone sitting here, if possible. Even though your job define you as a contractor, but however, your employer still pay for payroll tax. But we don't have this example here. But again, okay, that may be another good final project topic. Follow up today's lecture. Maybe for your final project topic, you want to do the legal research, whether or not the topic is whether or not the job title say contractor, but eventually employer still pay for payroll tax. I think you can find a lot of legal research online. It's very easy to find because in the past few years, IRS tried to attack the big firm, big company. Okay, they try to find the trouble. Say, okay, even though according to your employment agreement, this person is contractor, but follow this standard. For tax purposes, this person eventually is employee, so you need to pay for payroll tax. So that's the trouble. Okay, here. So when we talk about contractor or employee, again, there is the tension there. We understand there is tension there, right? As an employer, we try to define this job as independent contractor. But the other side, IRS try to argue, no, this job is employee. So you can feel this. There is the tension there already, right? Okay, so select the scenario that apply to you. Number one, I am independent contractor or business for myself. So you work for yourself. This is the first scenario. Everybody will start business like this, right? One person business. 100%. You want to configure you as an independent contractor. The reason why is you want to avoid payroll tax, right? When you work for yourself, each penny you earn is yours, right? There's no any sense you report this 1 penny as salary, then you pay extra payroll tax. Understood? As a one-person business, I think it makes sense. You want to define your job as the owner as possible, not as employee. Understood? Yes.
What about the entity we register is the C Corp?
Doesn't matter. We will talk about the business organization next time. By the way, we have 2 left. Okay, you want to write it down? We have 2 left after today. So next time, 2 weeks from today, we will talk about the business organization. So it doesn't matter your business is sole proprietorship, or is a C Corp, S Corp, or LLC, or even partnership. It doesn't matter. Right now, I'm talking about, from your job. You want to define yourself as an owner, not employee. Because as an owner, I don't even give any salary at all. I don't have to. Because as an owner, each penny I earn, you will become as a bonus or net revenue or net profit for this business. Understand? So if you define this 1 penny you earn as a salary, yes, you could, but you pay for payroll tax. Or you define this no any salary for this business, but you have another expenses, right? So by the end of the period, by the year, you have a net profit. So the net profit still become yours. Understand? We'll argue about that, but right now this scenario is very interesting because almost for every business we start from this, right? 1 person, you work for yourself, okay? Then, of course, you can define yourself as employee for some reason because some people they want to accumulate. They really want to accumulate their Social Security. Understand? So for those people they want to accumulate their Social Security credit, they would rather give themselves salary. They pay Social Security each period. There's another scenario, but here you can define either way. Yes, baby.
Yeah. So you talk about the 1-person business, but for those businesses that have a few workers and the owner also work, so do you think that is good to pay the salary to the owner as also an employer?
Let me repeat your questions. You say ABC 3% work for this company, but ABC they are all happen to be the shareholder of the business.
Yeah.
Right? So your question is if it is not 1 person, it's multiple person. However, each of them are also the owner of the business. So for this scenario, does it make sense? We pay the salary for each one. Is that your questions, right?
Or maybe just one of them is owner, but does this owner need to get the salary?
Okay. My advice is if this is not 1-person company, okay, you have multiple people work there, for sure, for those people, if they are not owner, for sure you must report them either as a contractor or employee. And more likely than not, you are reported as employee. So, do I follow your questions? Because your scenario is, say for example, there are 3 people work for this business,
Yeah.
and only 1 person is the owner.
Owner.
Right, but 3 people work
together.
for the business.
Yes.
For the other 2, for sure you need to report it,
Yes.
and most likely report those 2 people as employee. Right? We all agree, right? But Pepe's question is for yourself. You are the one of the 3. You are the owner, and also you are one of the person who work for the company. So for this scenario, does it make sense you report yourself as employee? This is Pepe's questions. Do you have any input? Do you have any idea? I think this is a very, very common situation, right? You are the owner, you are one of the employee. Say you are one of the workers, for example, okay? And in the meantime, you hire the other 2 people come in, and you report the other 2 people as employee, and you pay for payroll tax, right? So right now, the issue here posted by Pepe is, does make sense for you as the owner report yourself as one of employee, and you receive the salary, and of course you and your company and you and your business pay for the extra payroll tax. Your questions, your answer. How about your answer?
Well, I just have a question.
No questions. Let's talk about this first. Questions each time, okay?
Yes, if you want to be the manager of the people.
So your answer is yes, and the reason why, I want to see why.
Yes, if you want to be the manager in this company,
Oh,
that's
okay.
a 3 people company.
But you know, Steve Jobs only received $1
That's an employee.
as a salary, right?
So your question is the employee or not?
Yeah. Your question is one of the employee, but your job title could be manager.
Yes.
So the issue is not the position. I mean, you want to yes, you want to manage the people. Yes.
Yes. If
Your
you
job-
are not the
yeah.
employee, you cannot be the manager.
Yeah, Mariana.
You
Yes,
have
please.
write-offs, so you put her as an employee, and the company covers all expenses. You can put in salary, like no salary, you don't pay so much taxes, but your company will write everything off.
Okay.
So
Yes, let's talk about this issue, right? Right now we have the issue here is, say, let's leave the manager title issue alone. We don't talk about that one. Right now we narrow down the issue is, you have 3 people work together for this company, and you already report the other 2 as an employee already. So you pay for payroll tax for those 2 already. Right now the issue is here. As the owner of the business and also as well as the employee, we don't give it the job title yet, okay? As one of the employee for the business, does it make sense to report yourself as employee and you receive the salary and you and your business pay for the extra payroll tax? This is the questions, okay? And the answer from Mariana is yes, it makes sense because you want to report the salary to reduce the net profit of this business, and also you can reduce the tax you pay to the IRS. So from this theory, it makes sense to report yourself as employee, and the company cut a check to you, and company can report this salary as salary expenses and reduce the bottom line net profit. By the way, advertisement, okay? For next, for the summer term, I'm going to teach financial accounting. All right, so we're gonna talk about we'll talk about this issue because each course eventually relate to each other. Okay, so just give you the advance notice. So highly recommend you can choose that. Yes, good explanation. However, I want to ask further because you are the owner, right? I want to ask one step further. Does it make sense? Because in order to save the tax gonna pay by the business, right now you pay extra payroll tax. Which one take more? If, assuming if, I just speak if, okay? If the tax law allow business owner not pay for you salary, if that is legal, then you save that salary in the business, right? And you save payroll tax. So you have 2 numbers you want to get a comparison. Which amount is bigger? You want to get a comparison whether or not the payroll tax is bigger or the money saved by the business, and then let the business to pay for the income tax. You need to get a comparison which tax is higher. Yes, Mariana.
You should compare, like you said, because you should, if you report as an employee, you will pay taxes as an employee too. So it's double taxation.
Yes.
So you have to be careful.
Yes. Yes. So let me repeat. Hold on one second. Yes.
Okay.
I think this is a very good argument here. Even though you compare 2 numbers, even this is equal, but think about this. As an employee, as an employee, you are the owner, you're employee. If you receive the salary and you only pay your personal income tax. But if you don't pay payroll tax, the money saved by the business, if for example, if business is a C corporation, then the C corporation will pay one-time corporation income tax. Then as the shareholder, when you receive the bonus, you pay another, your personal income tax is double. So it probably it make more sense if the business is C corp. If business is C corp, it make more sense to pay your salary,
Exactly.
and then you pay payroll tax, because anyway you pay one time, one level income tax. So probably this is the idea right now, but the thing may change if the business is not C corp. If the business is S corp or LLC or partnership or even sole proprietorship, the answer may change. We may talk about that issue next time. But very good example, very good explanation. So there's no right answer. Assuming if the law allow the business owner don't get paid salary, if that is allowable, then again, we can think about that, whether or not as a business owner, you want to receive as a salary or receive as a bonus. So the answer right now, if the business is a C corp, probably it make more sense to receive salary. So did I answer, Pepe's, your questions, right? Yes.
I haven't done any research about whether the owner of the C corp
Okay.
should file for the salary or not. But my tax preparer, he said, as a C corp, the owner or the principal must file for the as the employee rather than the independent contractor.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, good. Yeah, but yes, you are right. But there's no amount. There's no amount limitation. You can file very little amount or very high amount. So, when we determine the amount, the same consideration come in, right? In order to meet the requirement, you must list it as an employee. But how much? Right? This is another thing we can do. The almost very similar analysis. Okay. So let's go back here. Okay. Yes, Maria, you have any other input?
I do agree what he said.
Yes.
I just wanted to add about if I'm an employee and owner at the same time in the business, I get a salary.
Okay.
And I do pay for the payroll tax.
Okay.
And on the other hand, I also pay for the payroll tax for the business.
Yes. If you want to take the salary from your own business, you also need to pay payroll tax.
And that also be for at least some certain amount.
Yes, you need to follow up. Oh, by the way, my suggestion is we don't do the payroll tax by ourselves. Too complicated, not worth it. Because the law change all the time, and you just leave this to a bank. Right now, your bank, they provide very good services. Okay, if you want to just issue yourself salary, you just make a phone call to your bank. You just go into your branch, sign up the service agreement, and you say this is twice every other 2 weeks or twice a month or whatsoever. And before the payday, you just make a phone call to your branch. The manager say I pay to myself, say $2,000 gross, say for example, and the bank, they will deduct everything. They will deduct, and you will receive the net. They will do everything, and by the end of the year, they will give you the statement. So make the whole life a lot easier, All right, so this is my recommendation. So assuming you consider after this class, after the discussion here, you determine you will give yourself salary. There's good consideration, nothing wrong. Okay. Let me repeat it. To pay for payroll tax, nothing wrong. Okay, so highly recommend is one of the option. All right, one of the option, but don't do it by yourself because you very easily to commit the mistake.
Do you need to pay for the bank to do that?
Very minimum. They charge you very reasonable fee. As far as I know, if only 1 to 3% probably every month is only $100. Around $100, so it's worth it. Oh, by the way, right now we talk about the second issue here. Right now, when somebody work for you, so this is a real issue here. When somebody work for you, and then you need to determine this person is contractor or employee. You need to make a determination. All right. The reason why is if this person is independent contractor, by the end of next year, the end of January, you need to do what? Let me repeat my questions, okay? If you pay out something, okay, And right now we have two possibilities, okay? The first one is this person you pay to is determined as independent contractor. So by the end of January next year, as payroll, you are payroll, okay? What kind of document you should file?
1099.
Yeah, let's see that, okay. Eventually, there are two steps, okay? If we determine this person is independent contractor, before you pay out, you need to ask this person to provide a form. Any idea what kind of form it is? W
For
W.
No. 10,
4 or 9.
W9, I see. Let me see, okay? Yeah, there are two forms, okay? One is before you pay out, one is after you pay out, okay? So be careful, okay? So don't miss any one step, okay? Assuming this person is independent contractor. Let's see.
Yeah,
I think it's
the
W, where is it?
39.
W, here it is. W9. Those forms are available on IRS website. Okay, use it. As I say, even 1099, you don't buy it, okay? 1099 W2 you can request from IRS. They will mail you to for free. Otherwise, you pay money. You pay for it. If you go to any stationery store, we can buy it. But I told you, it's free. As long as you request earlier. Usually, because the due date is the end of January next year, if you request, you send it out online request to IRS by mid-October, late November, and you will receive it on time for free. Okay. This is W9. Okay. Request for taxpayer identification number and certification. Right? Just very simple form. You just ask this, you send this out, okay? Then the recipient will provide you the name, okay? The name must be as same as the one on their tax return. So name there, and if that is a business, personal name, business name, and check here, okay, is whether or not this is individual, C Corp, S Corp, partnership, blah blah blah, okay, or LLC. All right. Then address. Address here. More important is here. Tax ID. Just one moment. Hold on, okay. If this is a personal, you ask for Social Security number. If this is a business, you ask for EIN, employer identification number, either one. All right? And then finally, you have a signature there. Signature and date. And usually, if this is the regular contractor with you, you just keep one file there, will be fine until they change the information. All right? You don't have to change. You don't have to update it every year. So, any questions so far, Maria?
Yes, before the end of January, assuming this person.
Oh, not yet. No, don't jump. Okay, not yet. This is not January. Okay. This is by the time you're gonna pay. Understood? I'm not talking about after you pay this. Before you pay. Oh, by the way, there are $600 limit. $600 per year limit there. $600 per year to same person per year, then you need to file 1099. However, you don't care about the dollar amount when you request this form. You understand? So let me repeat, okay? There are two forms. You need to keep that in your file. If you pay any money to independent contractor for tax purposes, this form is called W9 form. You need to collect this form before you pay out. At this moment, you don't care about what will be the total amount you're gonna pay for the whole year because you don't know. You know, or maybe you don't know. You don't care about the amount. You just request it. If recipient provide you wrong information, they will get a penalty. But as a payor, you need to keep one copy in your file. So to answer Maria's questions, this form is not related to 1099 yet, not yet. It's not January 31st yet. This is any moment, any time during the year, you're gonna pay something out as an independent contractor, you collect this information and keep that in your file. Got it? Alright? Then we talk about 1099, okay? You collect this form and you cut a check, right? During the year and you accumulate, okay? By the way, we all understand, right? For independent contractor, you don't need to do any tax withholding. You don't need to pay any extra payroll tax. Nothing. This is it, okay? So after the whole year, 1099. This is one moment. This is 1099 here. Stop. Okay, 1099. Oh, by the way, they are the deadline. Deadline usually is January 31st. There are two deadlines. Be careful, okay? There are two deadlines. The first deadline is you need to issue this 1099 to the recipient. By January 31st next year. This is the first deadline. When the people receive that, they can examine it, say something wrong or is correct. Right? The second deadline is the end of February. You need to report 1099 along with 1096. 1096 is the summary. Is a summary. So for example, totally you issue 1099 to different people. Alright? So you have each 1099 copy in your file, but you need to put it together as a summary on 1096. So you don't send 1096 to your contractor. You only send out 1099. Okay? However, you need to send 1099, the IRS copy, along with your 1096 to IRS by the end of February. Got it? Got it? And we will not get into too much about W2 because that is too complicated for this course. So that's why I advise if you involve any salary issue, don't do it by yourself. You just contract out to your bank or any other CPA firm. Usually bank they charge much less fee because they have very big volume. Okay, so let me wrap it out a little bit, okay? If you are employer and you determine the one person you pay to, that is independent contractor, before you pay out, you collect W-9. After you pay out, by the end of the January next year, you issue 1099 to the recipient and wait for 1 month to see if they give you correction or not. And by the end of February, you send it out 1099 along 1096 to IRS. And then, by the time you report your tax, you deduct what so much, whatever the amount you pay out on the 1099 as your compensation. It's called compensation expenses. You deduct it from your gross income.
So 1099 is kind of for the companies. How about like the tutors? So they work for the same
Yes,
company?
that is the issue. Okay, that is a reality issue. There's a more practice issue. Eventually, the law requires as long as the amount you pay out more than $600, you are supposed to file 1099. However, we know in our real life, we don't do it. We don't do it. If we don't do it, there's supposed to, the penalty there, supposed to be better. But again, IRS cannot just enforce every single case.
And the second person, how about the one of the independent contractor? So each of the case of this person, maybe only 500 something, work for different company or different persons. So does that qualify to like file the W9 or 1099?
Yes. When people receive W1099, they will report their tax on Schedule C. As a recipient, okay, if you are the person who received 1099 and the amount is correct, nothing wrong, all right? And you are supposed to match this same amount on your Schedule C. That's how IRS can match. That's how IRS can follow up whether or not the recipient report or filed the correct tax. So your answer is yes. Doesn't matter how many jobs this person done. Okay, whenever he receive 1099, just report this amount on the C schedule. There is different rule for C schedule, but we'll talk about it later on. Okay, for next semester. But right now, to answer your questions, yes, that person is qualified.
Oh, so how about if not qualified to get the 1099 because it's lower than 600 for each?
Then, okay, another good question. If this person perform 10 jobs during the year, but each job is a small amount, under 600, that is why he never received any single 1099. That's your questions, right? For smart people or for reasonable people, if you don't receive 1099, you don't report. Am I right?
Yeah.
That is for the regular reasonable people. But that is not right. That is not right, because for each dollar we earn, if that is income, doesn't matter we receive 1099 or not, we are supposed to report, but people don't do it. So we need to talk about the law and the life. Okay, as a professor, I can only teach law. Okay, but that is life, right? So,
Professor, my experience also, I had a chance to read the law by IRS for the amount we need to pay. I mean, the minimum amount we need to pay tax.
right.
They say if our annual income less than 3,700,
Something we don't need to even
we don't need to
we don't need to report it.
Right.
Yes, that is because they are already below than the minimum taxable income already.
Right.
Don't bother it. Yeah, we'll talk about the issue.
Don't we get penalized for not reporting 1099?
Yes, as a employer or as a business owner, we'll get a penalty, not report 1099. However, probably there's no way for IRS to follow up, because if you don't file 1099, the other person don't file Schedule C, and the money just disappear in the whole world, right? So yes, theoretically, the business owner will get a penalty, but usually there's no way for IRS to follow up, because one side did not report, the other side did not report, there's no money can match.
Well, then what if the Schedule C comes up and I didn't report my 1099?
Usually, Schedule C reported to IRS, but there is no tax ID number to link who paid to you. So if no 1099 report, but still this person filed Schedule C, not necessarily the payroll will get the penalty, because under $600, there is no application to report 1099 anyway. So number one issue is, if one person without 1099 files Schedule C, that is good citizen, by the way. Okay? But there's no link to IRS to do the auditing on the payroll. So, but again, you know, this the tax administration is too complicated. We cannot cover it. By the way, due to the time limit, I need to wrap up. We are not finished yet, but next time we can talk about it a little bit. For the midterm, for those of you came in late, 30 minutes, we're gonna start from 5 minutes, in 5 minutes. But again, let me repeat it. I want to give you the uniform format. The uniform format, everybody follow this format, okay? You will have one very simple questions. We'll tell you one case study, and there's a story there, and then the person filed a lawsuit against the business, okay? So the person filed the lawsuit is called plaintiff, and the person against who, that's called the defendant, okay? And this is the format, okay? We're gonna use the logic analysis. R is the rules used by the court. There are two rules, two principles used by the court to determine the outcome. So if R, then outcome. So this is a very simple logic, okay? So you will see what's the rules there and what's the outcome. Outcome is who win the case, all right? So the rule number 1, rule number 2. So you don't need to pay too much attention here. You just read what rule are. That's it. Your job is you need to give me the analysis to let me know upon your analysis is the facts pattern there, the storytelling there, facts there, whether or not the facts there is the rule or is not the rule. So if the facts pattern is the rule, so you have the case, plaintiff win the case. If your argument is the facts pattern provided in this case is not within the rule, then defendant win the case. But the exciting is you don't know who you are. Only when you receive your questions. I assign each person, you are only on one side. You cannot change your side, okay? If I assign you, you define, you represent plaintiff, you only argue F is R. If I assign the case to you to defend, then you need to argue the facts pattern in this story is not the rule. It's not within the meaning of the rule. You need to say, no, it's not, it's not. So your analysis is gonna split to two parts, because R1, R2. If your defendant, okay, you still need to argue on both, because I know logically you only need to say I negate one already good enough, right? But in order to be fair, because for plaintiff you need to satisfy on both. R1, R2 must equal to the facts pattern. So to be fair, so even you are defendant, you still need to argue on the R1, R2. Why? In this case, the facts pattern does not fall within the rule. Why? This facts pattern does not meet R2. You need to for each of you need to argue for the both. Okay? Say I say you have 30 minutes, you spend like 10 minutes read the case, 5 minutes to lay out your writing, and 10 minutes or 15 minutes to write off two principles. So you split probably 5 minutes, 7 minutes on each analysis. Any questions for midterm? Hopefully not. I say you don't need extra knowledge to answer this. So get easy. Okay? So you can ask Yan coming in to give you the exam questions. Would you please?
Excuse me.
And you cannot discuss, okay, when you receive